The next topic was location. A question from Stuart Harvey. On a large open water, what are the best methods for locating fish? And also, what is the best way to get a fish to locate your bait, as I have had many blank days on my local water?
It's all part of the craft, I guess, you know, understanding carp fishing, locating the fish, large waters. Well, the two things you use the most are your eyes and your ears. All the time looking, watching signs of fish, jumping, rolling, flattening the surface. Ears for crashing, fish jumping out, especially at night. If I'm struggling to locate fish on a big water, I often set the alarm clock for the middle of the night so I can have 2 hours awake listening. That's a tactic I've used several times successfully on big French reservoirs as well. We've drifted across the reservoirs in the night, waiting to hear fish crashing, and then when we locate where they've crashed, move down that area, and that's worked really well for us.
You find fish act more naturally on a bigger water? You would assume it's less pressured, wouldn't you, a bigger water?
I agree with that, Jamie. I actually think fish are a lot easier to locate on big lakes than, you know, small, tricky lakes. You know, I'd rather try and find fish on 400 acres than 1 or 2 acres. They act like carp, you know, they follow the wind. So that's another point. Yeah, you're using your ears and eyes, but knowing where carp prefer, you know, any nice warm wind, they follow that on the big lake. Very defined by winds. Carp are on big lakes, and the sun. You know, that's another one. I think people often miss that, but where, especially in the spring and early summer, the areas of a lake where, you know, the sun is most hours a day on it, they can be great spots. Like, for example, an island. Yeah, one side of the island that gets most of the sun, that's another place to look. I could go on. What's the second part of the question?
And for them finding your bait, do you worry about, especially on a big lake, if you're putting bait in one corner, that the fish are going to even see it? Do you think their senses are better than that? Do you think they know where it is?
I couldn't fertilise baiting unless I felt I was in there where fish use, you know. Otherwise, yeah, you know, you could get the whole population of this lake in like a couple of bathtubs, you know. So there's a lot of water you could bait and they never visit or rarely visit. And I also believe you'll rarely drag carp into an area to feed if they're not used to going in there feeding it. So it's about, from, you know, part one of the question, you've got to find where the carp do go, live and eat, and those are the areas you've got to then start baiting.
Yeah.
You know, you can use bait to your advantage, especially on low pressure waters where they're not used to bait, or again the foreign waters. That can often be about volume. You know, put a lot of bait out there, not necessarily expensive bait, particles, just so as they're swimming along, think, oh, what's that? And they go and check it out and find out it's something they can eat. Again, but getting back to foreign lakes, another tactic I've used really successfully is on one particular massive reservoir, 52 miles round it was, the carp were crayfish eaters, and we knew they like to eat the crayfish in 15 foot, so what we do is echo out until we found submerged forests of trees, you know, to resi, where they go in and cut the trees out, because that's where the carp live in the day, in the trees, submerged trees. Then we'd echo sound off till we found 15 foot in open water, and then bait that with trout pellet, like a couple of sacks of trout pellet. That would get the cray on it at night, and then the carp would come out feeding on the cray, and then we'd put Scopex buoys in with that, because crays don't really like Scopex standard buoys. And I remember one section we had 48 carp in 48 hours, you know. So using other species to attract the carp is the point I'm trying to make. Complex question, go on for hours about that, but I hope there's a bit of an insight to you.